Welcome to Set in Stone Director's Cut Edition. I'm going to be talking about season 1. So I just really want to talk about my favorite points from episode 1 all the way to 10. First, I just want to say thank y'all so much for showing the support and the love that you guys have shown throughout the first season. It's been phenomenal. I didn't even expect this many people to be in tune, but I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And this was the South Got Something to Say series where we talk to community leaders, elected officials, grassroots organizers, literally everybody far and in between.
Well, slavery was in the past. Why do we have to talk about it now? I'm sorry, would you say that about the Holocaust?
So episode 1, it was the very first episode with Read Freely, Alabama, one of the leaders, a part of that organization, Christy Schallenberger. It was a very good episode. Christy really did not shy away from saying the things that people don't want to say. And I think she made some very valid points about how detrimental the book bans are. And she's been doing a lot of great work in the State House this session. A lot of the book ban bills that were brought forth were actually not passed. So that's really good. And I think it has a lot to do with the work that Read Freely Alabama did. And so I just want to shout them out. I think they are an amazing group of people that really understand that we need books to survive. People need to be educated. You can't live in a society and not have books, period. Books that challenge your thoughts, books that make you more intellectual. I think that it's very needed in where we are today. So thank you so much to Christy Schallenberger and the Read Freely Alabama people for allowing me to talk with Christy, but also talk about the things that you guys work on to make our state better. I think people can say a lot.
You can say a lot.
They be saying a lot on these Instagram reels. They only give you 60 seconds and you somehow fit everything up in there. So what's up with the 3 to 4 minutes that you give public comment in your community?
You can learn a new skill in 60 seconds. Because we go on TikTok and exactly. You can come and tell me how you feel about this resolution, this ordinance in 3 to 4 minutes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah. So please learn, find out when your council meeting is and show up. I want to see and hear from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't want my decision to only be about me.
Episode 2. I loved episode 2. It was with Councilwoman Collins. So funny story. Councilwoman Collins is now running for mayor of Center Point, Alabama. So I just absolutely love that. And I think one of my favorite things about talking to her was just that she's young. I mean, she's a young elected official. And I love that before she decided to step into politics, she really didn't know much about it. But the fact that she took a leap of faith and stepped out and believed in herself to say, actually, I think I'm smart enough. Matter of fact, I know I'm smart enough to be a councilwoman and make decisions for other people and take that leadership role. You don't see that in people, and I just admire her. I really love this episode because we also talked about how people, we really pick and choose what we want to be involved in. We talked about how we watch the 60-second TikToks on how to cook or how to do something, and we can use that same energy to make our voices heard in the public realm of going to city council meetings, going to state house meetings, wherever elected officials are that are making decisions about our everyday life. We also have an input for that. We just have to use our time wisely. So I really, really love that episode. So thank you so much, Councilwoman Collins. And I wish you the best in your run for mayor. I really want you to win. And I'm going to do my best to put my resources and the people that I know to come out there and canvas for you. And you going to catch me out there canvassing with your girl too. I'm sorry. I'm going to cry. Because I'm still thinking about you as a candidate doing that. You already blew my mind. But for you to like blow my mind, I'm really crying. I'm so sorry. For you to blow my mind like that, ugh. Sally, oh, you don't even know. Lo siento. Gosh. Thank you. I mean that. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Episode 3. Wow. What a tearjerker. I cried like 3 times during that episode. It was insane. Salida, te quiero mucho. Mucho. Muchas gracias. Okay? It was such a... some people, you know, they do this work to like for accolades, but I can definitely say I'm very confident in saying that Salida is not that individual. She is someone that genuinely cares about people a lot. And so I just have so much respect for her. I see the hard work that she puts into it, the care that she puts into it, very intentional. And so this was a really good episode, and it meant a lot to me to be able to do that with her. And so I really, really hope people learn more about Margins. That's the organization that she's also co-director of, and they do a lot of work for moms, and specifically Black moms, and you just don't find organizations doing that work. So if you are in Alabama or wherever you are, you know, I'm not going to restrict it to Alabama, but I will say if you want to give your resources and money and time and clothes and food and all the things to an organization that specifically helps Black women, I would definitely ask that you give to Margins. So thank you to Salida. Thank you to the folks at Margins, who also I did not name. I'm so sorry. But none of that would be able if you guys were not working hand in hand in the community, providing for people to have clothing, for providing for moms to be able to have time to take care of themselves, giving them cars. I mean, just all the wonderful things that Margins does. So thank you so much. And that was one of my favorite episodes, if I say it was my favorite, one of my favorites. So yeah, thank y'all.
He was Secretary of State, then Attorney General, the state's top law enforcement officer as Attorney General, and then was Lieutenant Governor, and then Governor. And
that is crazy. I did not know that.
So you have this.
Wait. So he did 28 for Secretary of State 4 years, and then after the 4 years, he went for AG, and then after those 4 years, he went for LG, and then after those 4 years, he went for governor. Mm-hmm. Straight track.
He is still the only politician
to ever do that.
Alabama to hold all 4 constitutional.
That is crazy.
That is Alabama.
Episode 4. This one was with Josh Coleman, and wow. I learned so much from Josh. I think I learned a lot from Josh even outside of the podcast. But I think my favorite thing that I learned from Josh in this episode was how amazing former Governor Siegelman was. He was 28 years old, okay? He ran for Secretary of State. After Secretary of State, he ran for Attorney General. Then after Attorney General, he ran for Lieutenant Governor, and then he ran for governor. That he's still the only politician that's ever done that. Incredible. And also another thing that I learned is like he actually worked with like Stokely Carmichael, which I didn't even like. What? Like he's an amazing man, regardless of the conspiracy that was thrown upon him. I think that's very evident and very clear that they saw how powerful of a man he was, and he really was actively making change. He was not a politician that was just talking about it. He was actively doing it and trying to make things happen. So I did learn a lot about him from that episode with Josh, but I also learned a lot about Birmingham and the leadership opportunities that they have, especially with their Civic Engagement Academy, which is bringing people in from the community into the civic engagement process. And I think that they're so important. I don't think government institutions are doing a good job at that right now. So the fact that Birmingham is stepping up to do that says a lot. So Josh, thank you so much for that episode, and also shout out to Blueprint Alabama. Josh and Caroline Self have created this space for people who identify as Democrats in Alabama to come together, build community, and organize. So I just want to shout out Blueprint Alabama and shout out Josh Coleman. So thank you, Josh.
So Alabama Power was aiming to build a hydro pump storage facility on Chandler Mountain in a rural community.
What? Hold on, what? Episode 5 was with Cindy Lowry. I learned so much about Alabama's rivers. We got a lot of wildlife that we need to be taken care of. I learned that. I also really, really love the fact that Chandler Mountain, though, that community was not for Alabama Power building a hydro plant in their community, and they banded together. And so that really just kind of put in perspective for me how we need to be banding together when it comes to various issues that we don't want passed in our communities. And a community in Chandler Mountain did it, and they did it against Alabama Power. And so that says a lot. Thank you so much, Cindy, for joining me on that episode. Thank you for the work that you do with Alabama Rivers Alliance. It definitely, we would not, know what it's like to actually even protect our waters or what that even looks like. So thank you to you and the coalition that is built around protecting our wildlife and our waters. Thank you, Cindy.
You can't complain about policies and figures, and you not.
She's going off. You going off. I love this. You going off.
Yeah, why are you complaining about something you didn't contribute to stop? Shut up.
Shut up.
I'm gonna get angry. I'm gonna get angry.
Episode 6. Woo! That was Michaela. That was my girl. That's my girl, okay? One thing I ain't gonna ever forget, she said, this ain't rap world. This ain't no love and hip hop. This is American policy. So if that ain't put it in perspective to you on how good that conversation was, I don't think anything is gonna make sense. Even, if you didn't catch that little snippet, then I don't know what to tell you. But it was a really good episode, and I appreciate Michaela so much. Madam Vice President, thank you for joining me on that episode. We were able to talk about, misogyny, race, and how they all, patriarchy, and how they all are combined together, and just different ways to dismantle it. So thank you so much, Michaela. Thank you.
The people in my community are service industry individuals. You all like your coffee hot in the morning along with your biscuits. We have no before-school care. We have no after-school care. These are the people who show up at your baby's school to make sure the bathrooms are clean. They're making sure your mother at the hospital is clean at the nursing home. And they are working hard every day to make it. But there is no care about them and how their families are going to make it, how their kids are getting to school. We have no bus transportation, and they're having to make decisions on whether or not they're going to send their child to school in an Uber.
Annie Emmy Williams. I love Annie Emmy. She does amazing work in her community, but I think what stood out to me was just the ways that she put into perspective about people having attitude of like privilege. So she made a very good point in a snippet that we cut and did a promo on, was like, people in her communities, make sure your coffee is hot, make sure your biscuits are hot. And there's really, those are the people that drive our community forward. And so for me, it really stood out. It's just how much service workers matter and how we as people have this, she spoke about, go watch the episode, I ain't gonna tell you too much, but she spoke about a situation, and I think through that situation, it just showed a level of privilege that if you don't work in the service industry, you don't even understand what it's like to be able to serve other people and then somebody have a horrible attitude towards you, or somebody just not show up. It's something as simple as like, hey, my kids, I got to put my kids on the bus. My kids, I got to be at work way before it's time for my kids to be at school, So I think just having that story that she told really put a lot in perspective for me as far as how I even move within community and change how I organize with people who don't have the privilege of having a remote job or don't have the privilege of being an entrepreneur, who have to go into work and be in the service industry. And what that looks like to bring them into the fold of organizing and just really build community with them and how to take care of not just them, but take care of the people they take care of, their children, moms, aunts, uncles, whomever is in that realm. So thank you so much, Ani and me. And another thing I love, she used to be in the police force. And she said some good stuff. So y'all need to go watch the episode. I ain't gonna say too much, but go watch it. So thank you, Ani.
My mom is, so horrible, or my cousin is so racist, or and that's actually a deflection mechanism. That's a denial tactic, right? Because when you have a relationship, right, like we are doing work only within existing relationships. So there's a lot of influence and capacity and choice that we have in how we engage with them. And I was feeling that I was being a social justice warrior, right, by yelling at them and by saying the facts to them and ignoring the lived experience and the emotional experience of those interactions.
Yeah.
And we had to kind of hit rock bottom, and I think that was that moment. And I had to it really humbled me, where I was like, I could no longer lie to myself that I was doing something that was contributing. It was so clearly not.
Oh my gosh, episode 8. I love you, Liz. Liz, you're my girl. Down. I'm down. Is you down for me, baby? Like I'm down for you. Yeah, that's how I feel about Liz, because Liz does some really important work that we don't talk about. Liz is educating white people on how to work within their white privilege. That is heavy. That's not easy work. I think it takes a special human being to truly help people like conceptualize what that is and what that looks like for them in their everyday life. So I really, really appreciate Liz because like Liz said in the episode, she mentioned that white people should be concerned about what's going on in their own household rather than coming out into the Black community to try to find out what racism is. And I agree with that. I think that it would come off better if other white people were having discussions amongst themselves about, hey, how can we disband racism? And so I really, really appreciate the work that Liz is doing with Reckon With, and continue doing that good work, girl. Love you to death.
And, he was like, I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. And he said, but also like, and it becomes this human dignity space. He said, I've never begged anybody for anything in my life. And it is hard for me to think about begging for my life.
Episode 9. Rocky. I absolutely adore you, your tenacity, your strength, your perseverance. And I think this episode was so cool because he got clemency 3 days after we recorded it, which was amazing. Like, we've had a lot of synchronicity moments throughout this whole season with just like various stuff. But that was so cool. Shout out to his team, Miriam and Casey. It really upset me just to see in real time how the justice system in Alabama has let people down. They have not really done a justice, not just to Rocky, but a lot of other individuals. And so just to be able to interview Rocky in this time, to be able to talk to his team about the things that they were working on, what went wrong with the case, just all the things, was extremely inspiring. So if you have not listened to that episode, I would totally go listen to it. It will make you mad. I'm not gonna lie. By the end, I was pissed. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was pissed because I was like, how can this happen? Obviously, how can it happen? But how can it happen? Like, for real, So it was really a good episode, and I would highly encourage folks to go check it out.
Governor Siegelman, when you watch this, I love you even more. I loved you before, but now I really love you even more, okay?
Call me!
A few moments later.
So Khadidah wants me to call. Hey, Khadidah, this is Governor Siegelman. What's up?
Episode 10. Oh, this is one of my favorites too, if not my favorite, because what? I got to interview Governor Siegelman. What in the world? Do I need to say anything else? No, I'm just bragging on myself a little bit. I don't do this often. But who you know interviewing a former governor? Exactly. Exactly. So, Governor Sequin, I got so much love for you. So much love. Like Whitney Houston said, and I will always love you. So just know, whatever you need me to do, you know, I'm down, okay? I'm there. You say jump, I'm gonna say how high, how long, like whatever, you know? So thank you so much for the work that you did for our state and just being a force to reckon with, you know? You are a very powerful human being. Like I mentioned earlier, 28, running for those seats, mind-boggling. And winning, and then doing what you knew what was right. And I also love that he told a story in the episode about his parents and how they really set an example for him to lead by. And I respect that so much. And I even respect it even more because you listen, you know, a lot of people don't listen to their parents, you know, and the fact that you saw that moment as a learning moment and then carried it on through your life. It was 2 specific stories that Governor told. So if you have not listened to it, go listen to the episode. It was really good, and he's an incredible individual. I just hope I could be half of the leader he was. So thank you. That was season 1. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm so excited for season 2. It's gonna be a blast. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's already in the making. So stay tuned for season 2. The same series, the South Got Something to Say series, because the South got something to say. I'm the South, you the South, we the South, and we got something to say. So, bye.